Today we're looking at someone who's been all over the news lately, even on Netflix. Have you all heard of Bryan Johnson? What about you, Kazuki? Had you heard of him?
I happened to catch it on Netflix myself, and honestly, the title was shocking. Don't die.
He's basically a man chasing immortality, and it got a huge amount of attention.
So this time, since you and I have been covering longevity and anti-aging together, I wanted to really sit down and ask you all about this man, Bryan Johnson. That's what I've put together today.
Before I explain Bryan Johnson, there's this term, biohacking. It's a striking idea, isn't it? Hacking your own biology. It's getting a huge amount of attention in the West right now. What it means is you hack your biology to slow down aging. And the man doing that every single day from every possible angle is Bryan Johnson, the evangelist of biohacking. As for who he is, he ran his own company, sold it, and made a fortune from the sale. Now he's using that money to take control of his own body. For example, his daily meals are basically always the same. Every day he does things like, and I don't know all the details myself, bathing in red light, faithfully every single day. He measures his blood sugar and all sorts of other markers in incredible detail day after day. And what he's aiming for is to stop the markers of aging, and if possible, to reverse them through biohacking. He's using his own body to try out essentially everything that's out there.
You mentioned biohacking just now. I'd love to hear what that concept actually is.
Biohacking covers a whole range of approaches. When you hear the word, it sounds like some scary science fiction thing, but the actual approaches are things like controlling your sleep quality, figuring out what bedtime gives you the best sleep, how many hours you really need, monitoring all of that properly, and checking how you did each day. Then, what kind of food you eat and when. Stopping the aging clock through things like that is biohacking too. On the other end, there's using machines like the ones we mentioned to genuinely halt aging. And then, Bryan Johnson stopped doing this one partway through, and personally, I have my doubts about it. There's taking the plasma from a child's blood, the components of young blood, and putting it into your body because it's supposed to make you younger, injecting a child's plasma into yourself. If you go all the way to that kind of science fiction niche extreme, trying everything that exists in the world, that's biohacking. How far you take it is up to the individual. I don't go as far as biohacking myself, but for lunch, partly because I'm busy, I have a powdered complete food called Huel.
Every day?
Pretty much every day, yeah, and it's great. This is just how it feels to me. It's a complete food. You add water, give it a shake, and drink it. It's a powder, so it doesn't look great. A sweet, powdery kind of juice. The difference from a protein shake is that it isn't just protein. You get carbs, fiber, and the protein you need. But the contents are controlled so your blood sugar doesn't peak, so I don't get noticeably sleepy. The worst thing about carbs is what's called a blood sugar spike. When your blood sugar shoots up again and again, that's really bad for you. For example, people from cultures where they fast and then eat a big meal all at once are very prone to diabetes. So it's designed to avoid creating those spikes. I eat that all the time, and the result is I don't get sleepy in the afternoon and my work performance goes up. That's not quite Bryan Johnson level, but it's part of biohacking too. A friend of mine in Silicon Valley has a sensor implanted under his skin. He taps it with his phone and instantly sees his health metrics. He's got that implanted, and everyone's scanning away, wearing them all the time and showing them off. I'm watching thinking, wow, there's no way I could ever play a contact sport with that in. So biohacking really seems to span a wide range. That's hugely important, isn't it?
So, is Bryan Johnson doing this across a huge number of metrics, taking all sorts of measures for each one?
Exactly. The one thing I find disappointing, though, is that Bryan Johnson isn't making iPS cells. I keep hoping that someday he absolutely will.
It's true. I watched that Netflix documentary too, and if you just watch it passively, your only reaction is, why on earth is this person going this far? But as you were just saying, what Bryan is really doing is applying that concept of biohacking, quantifying and optimizing to a huge number of things. And quantifying and optimizing is honestly something anyone can do. And it's the right approach, isn't it?
I think that's exactly right. You really don't notice what isn't measured. I've started measuring things like my sleep depth with an Apple Watch recently, and you can see that your recovery the day after drinking is far too low. So you think, okay, I'll stop drinking right before bed. You pick up on those things. I really do think that kind of thing matters a lot.
And it's true that working this into your daily life, rather than things you can only find out through a medical test or can only check by going to a hospital, the things you can fit into everyday life are probably easier to keep up, right?
That's exactly right. The things you bring into daily life are very easy to keep up, and by learning about them, you'll also be more likely to actually go for your regular checkups. The saddest thing is when something like a cancer that would have been caught at a routine checkup gets found late, because someone was too busy with work to go. Going for regular checkups now and then is really important for extending both your healthy lifespan.
Take Bryan Johnson this time, someone who sold a company in the US and made an enormous profit. A so-called success story. Do wealthy people like that tend to have a strong consciousness about longevity and about resisting aging, just like that title, Don't Die, suggests?
Oh, that's definitely there, don't you think? It's like Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. At the end, he said he didn't want to die, and did all sorts of things to avoid it. I don't know whether the people in America today are driven by that same "I don't want to die" motivation, but successful people really are investing in anti-aging. Jeff Bezos, for one, putting hundreds of billions of yen into Altos Labs, or Sam Altman of OpenAI pouring in tens of billions. The push to build this up as a science is very strong. Why exactly they invest in anti-aging, I probably won't really get it until I've made it that big myself. But anti-aging doesn't have to mean literally becoming younger. If you're 40 now and you stop your aging, then when you turn 50, you'd still be 40. And that counts as getting younger. Stopping aging is a form of anti-aging and taking a rate of aging that's dropping off steeply and slowing it down. That's getting younger relative to your age. Literally becoming 0 years old is probably difficult.
But looking at someone like Bryan Johnson, for people like us, who aren't so much desperate not to die as simply wanting to stay healthy, there are things we can do to extend our healthy lifespan, aren't there?
I think there are, but at the same time, Japan is overwhelmingly behind. It'll probably catch up before long, and we're trying to make that happen ourselves. But the programs and consultations on what exactly leads to a long, healthy life just don't exist in Japan yet. Not longevity as such, but healthy longevity. Not just adding years and being alive, but staying in good shape as you age. What to do about diet, sleep management, your overall health, what you should actually be doing. Longevity consultations, longevity camps, retreat-style programs, those don't exist in Japan yet. Overseas, they've started to appear, and people are taking part. Once those come about, they create a whole longevity movement.
Concretely, do you mean facilities more like medical institutions?
Not medical institutions, no. They run them at places like hotels. You come to a hotel, and there's dietary restriction, sleep management, exercise routines, meditation, the dietary balance we talked about earlier. From there, they send you to a medical institution, and then you come back to the hotel, or there's a medical institution inside the hotel itself. That's the kind of thing they do. They've mostly been listed out by now. There are only about 20 at the very top globally, maybe up to 50. But Japan doesn't have a single one yet.
Is that so? Does anything exist in Japan at all? Anything focused on this?
There's the longevity and Chinese herbal medicine that's been around for ages. But combining all of that into a program, one that genuinely shows this much aging was reversed or it was halted, that's something we really don't have yet.
But surely this will grow in Japan going forward.
I think it will. The literacy around this has built up quite a lot overseas, and it'll come to Japan too, so we want to get the word out. By sharing the knowledge that's emerged overseas and the latest science on how to maintain health, Through longevity, we can make a real contribution to everyone here in Japan.
On this channel, we'll keep bringing you new information on health, cutting-edge medicine and longevity, so please give us a like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you.